Are you talking, Vader? Because I can't hear you.
Oh wow. The All right, everybody. Sorry about that. I had my little son come in and was giving me a little bit of a trouble getting him out. So apologize that. Welcome to another episode of Circle the Earth Fellowship. I'm excited to talk about that. We'll be talking about Micah tonight. Micah, if you will, and we'll be reading from it. There's 7 chapters, but they're pretty short. But we're gonna keep going down this path. We're on, I believe, our 6th one, so we're through the halfway point. But yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and say hello to everyone who has joined us tonight. The EXO is trying to get here, but he is having some technical difficulties, so that is why we're kind of held up with him being here. But let's go on and say hello to everyone else. Hey, Marcia, thanks for joining us. How are you doing this tonight, sister?
Doing well. Just got fed, so I might go into food coma. I don't know, but
Nice. Yeah, I just ate myself. Kind of woke me up a little bit, gave me a little energy. So
it doesn't do that to me.
makes you sleepy.
Makes me sleepy.
Sleepy. Sweet. We also have Marcia. Along with Marcia, we also got the country kid Maggie. How you doing tonight, sister?
Good.
Glad you joined us again.
I like being here.
Yes, we loved you having. I love having you here. So sweet. Well, I'll keep trying to get that to get XO on while we go through. But oh, it looks like I got him. Let's go here and
Yes.
one and
Well, a
show.
little loud to me, but yeah, I can hear you well.
Oh, y'all can hear him?
Oh yeah,
Weird. I can't
I
hear him.
can.
I can't hear him. That is very weird. Let
I'll
me.
just turn you down, Exo. Don't worry about it. Just stay where you're at. Don't mess with any dials.
Hopefully, chat can hear him because I cannot. I don't know why. Uh, Let me just check all of these. Very weird. Okay, y'all can't hear him.
I,
Uh,
oh, they can't hear you.
oh,
I
I can
can
hear
hear
you
them, but
and him, not him. You and him, not him. Okay.
I can hear you And him, not him.
Yeah, a little confusing, but it's okay. Okay, he's dropped out. We'll try to get him back. Anyways, let's go ahead and while we're waiting on that, pull up and say hello to those in chat. We got our dear sister Wendy Moore. Shalom, everyone, indeed. JJ Hemp Creek Bear, a legend in itself. Shabbat Shalom to you as well. Marsha's in the chat. We also got Zealot Kidrick. Um, Shabbat Shalom, Kingdom Children. Yes, indeed. Let's see here. Looks we got Lisa here. Shabbat Shalom, sister. We got Jayla Friend. Welcome, sister. And Luke Andrew. Welcome, brother. Sweet. All right. So to kind of give a summary of what we've been doing so far with this minor prophet series, quote unquote, not minor, is we've been going through and we've been seeing over and over how the Father will use these prophets. He will send them into these cities and let those cities know that they are going against the behavior that the Father has laid out for us, and we can see over and over what becomes of those nations and those peoples when they fall away from following the instructions, and they become more worldly and look at what the world is doing. And we'll see that again, like we always do. I'm gonna try one more time before I get into the reading. See if we can get XO on. Show on
Sound
screen.
check.
Boom.
I,
Yes.
I hear
That's
you
really
just fine.
weird. Really weird. Yeah. This time it allows me to turn my camera off. It makes one more. You're not going to believe it. I had another phone. I tried it on another phone, and it gave me the same problem from a download that I downloaded on a separate device. So I'm really starting to get a little bit technologically phobic at this point.
Yeah, there's always something going wrong. It feels like, but that is technology. When has technology not gone wrong? But sweet, glad to have you here, brother. If you'd like to say hello.
Hey, what's going on? Yeah, I'll just let you do your thing. We'll see how it goes, and I don't want to take up too much time. I want to make sure that you guys are not interrupted too much more. But thanks for having me.
Yes, pleasure to have you as always. So, all right, sweet. So, like the technology, for some reason they used to be able to see my screens, and now they can't. They have to watch YouTube. So hopefully, Streamlabs will get that fixed, so we don't have to do that anymore. But that patch hasn't happened yet. But anyways, okay, let's get into this. So again, we're gonna be reading from Micah. But like we always do, we like to read the verse of the day from Bible Gateway, and it says, "This is Psalms 59:16 says, but I will sing of thy power, yeah, I will sing aloud of thy mercy in the morning, for thou hast been my defense and refuge in the day of my trouble." And that is very beautiful, and even taken out of context, that quote with everything else, I think that we should all have that. We should all have that. We wake, he's on our minds, he's in our hearts, and when we wake up and when we lay down and when we're coming and we're going, that it should always be on our minds. And we kind of will see through Micah what happens when you don't. So let's get into it. This is Micah 1. And again, I read King James Version. It is not the be all see all version. Of course, you should use other things like Bible Hub to have all these different versions, and the Septuagint and the Strong's Concordance, all great resources to dive deeper into it. But yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and read. So this is Micah 1. And it says, "The word of the Lord that came to Micah the Morashite in the days of Jotham, Azaz, and Hezekiah, kings of Judah, which he saw concerning Samaria and Jerusalem. Hear, all ye people, hearken, O earth, and all that is therein is, and let the Lord God be witness against you, the Lord from his holy temple. For behold, the Lord cometh forth out of his place, and will come down and tread upon the high places of the earth. And the mountains shall be molten under him, and the valleys shall be cleft as wax before the fire, and as the waters that are poured down a steep place. For the transgression of Jacob is all this, and for the sins of the house of Israel. What is the transgression of Jacob? Is it not Samaria? And what are the high places of Judah? Are they not Jerusalem? Therefore I will make Samaria as a heap of the field, as the plantings of the vineyard, and I will pour down the stones thereof into the valley, and I will discover the fountains thereof. And all the graven images thereof shall be beaten into pieces, and all the hires thereof shall be burned with fire, and all the idols thereof will I lay desolate. For she gathered it out of the hire of an harlot, and they shall return to the hire of a harlot. Therefore I will not wail and howl. I will go stripped and naked, and I will make a wailing like the dragons, and the mournings as the owls. For her wound is incurable, for it is come up unto Judah. He is come up unto the gate of my people, even to Jerusalem. Declare ye, it is not at Gath. Weep ye not at all in the house of Ephraim. Roll thyself in the dust. Pass ye away, thou inhabitants of Saphar, having thy shame naked. And the inhabitants of Zanan came not forth in the morning of Bezalel. He shall receive of you his standing. For the inhabitants of Marath waited carefully for good, but evil came down from the Lord unto the gate of Jerusalem. O thou inhabitants of Lachish, bind the chariots to the swift beast. She is in the beginning of the sin to the daughter of Zion, for the transgression of Israel were found in thee. Therefore shalt thou give presents to Morshagath, the houses of Azib shall be a lie to the kings of Israel. Yet will I bring an heir unto thee, O inhabitants of Mareshah. He shall come up to Adullam, the glory of Israel. Make thee bald, and pull thee for thy delicate children. Enlarge thy baldness as an eagle, for they are gone into the captivity from thee. So, kind of, there's a lot of places and peoples in there that people may not be familiar with, but if we kind of look at the overall context of what's going on here, we see this same thing that we've been seeing is a prophet sent by the Lord, and we see that in 1:1 that the word of the Lord came to Micah in the day of Hezekiah, kings of the Judah. And we see him talking about all of these, the house, all the sin that they have from the house of Israel, and bringing up that transgression of Jacob, and going through and explaining what's going to happen to these people. And here in 7, this always gets my blood pumping. Here in 1:7 it says, and all graven images thereof shall be beaten to pieces, and all the hires thereof shall be burned with fire, and all the idols thereof will I lay desolate, for she gathered it of the hire of a harlot, and they shall return to the hire of a harlot. So anytime I see idols and graven images getting beaten down and destroyed, it always makes me happy, because it's maybe not as prevalent in United States, because a lot of people see them as art. Oh, it's just art. But we have statues and idols and obelisks everywhere within our country. And, we'll get into this a little bit more, but I think a lot of the reason why the things are the way they are in our country and in the world is, one, because we're going away from the instructions of the Father, and we can see how that is compounding, and how some of these things that they're going through in time of Micah, we're kind of dealing with it today. Anyone have any other pieces they'd like to add?
No, I think you're spot on, but we do have a lot. Yeah, I guess other countries really do have a lot more statues than that, but we got pretty good. Boy, go to Washington D.C. and it'll make you sick.
Well, and see, ours are like hidden behind tradition or so-called culture, right? Like, we have Apollo as the the Statue of Liberty.
Yes.
Right,
Yes.
but everyone sees it as a woman, and they all take the meaning as, give me your, you're sick and you're hungry and you're poor, and they take it from that aspect. But so to say, like, in, let's say, Asia, they'll just have Buddhas. Well, they don't necessarily do that here. They don't have like a humanized bull sitting on a throne like they do in the Colosseum in Russia, in Rome, but they have the bull on Wall Street, this big golden idol placed upon placed in front of the place where they do all this commerce, which is very much like they did in the back in the day, where their temples were part religious, part a business. So
It was. Yeah.
yeah, so we kind of see that here. But we got 7 more chapters to go, so I'm just going to keep going, and I think that will keep all of this in our minds. So if anyone else doesn't have any comment, I'll keep on going. All right, here we go. Micah 2. Woe to them that devise iniquity, and work evil upon their beds. Even when the morning is light, they practice it, because it is the power of their hand. And they covet fields, and they take them by violence, and houses, and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man and his heritage. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, Behold, against this family do I devise an evil, for which ye shall not remove your necks, neither shall you go haughtily, for this time is evil. In that day shall one take up a parable against you, and lament with a doleful lamentation, and say, We will be utterly spoiled. He hath changed the portions of my people. How hath he removed it from me? Turning away, he hath divided our fields. Therefore thou shalt have none that shall cast a cord by lots in the congregation of the Lord. Prophesy ye not, say they to them that prophesy, they shall not prophesy to them, and they shall not take shame. O thou that art named the house of Jacob, is the spirit of the Lord straitened? Are these his doings? Do not my words do good to him that walketh uprightly? Even of late my people is risen up as an enemy. Ye pull off the robe with the garment from them that pass by securely as men averse from war. The women of my people have ye cast out from their peasant houses. From their children have ye taken away my glory forever. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with a sword destruction. If a man walking in the spirit in falsehood do lie, saying, I will prophesy unto thee of wine of a strong drink, he shall be the prophet of this people. I surely assemble, O Jacob, all of thee. I will surely gather the remnant of Israel. I will put them together as the sheep of Basra, as the flock in the midst of the fold. They shall make great noise by the reason of the multitude of men. The breaker is coming up before them. They have broken up and have passed through the gate and have gone out by it. And their king shall pass before them, and the Lord on the head of them. I'm going to keep going just to keep it all together, but I will keep those up in case someone wants to pull it up. And this is Micah 3. And I said, Hear, I pray you, O heads of Jacob, and ye princes of the house of Israel. Is it not for you to know judgment? Who hate the good and love the evil, who pluck off their skin from off them, and the flesh from off their bones, who also eat the flesh of my people, and flay their skin from off them, and they break their bones, and chop them in pieces as for a pot, and as flesh within the cauldron? Then shall they cry unto the Lord, but he will not hear them. He will even hide his face from them at that time, as they have behaved themselves ill in their doings. Thus saith the Lord concerning the prophets that make my people err, that bite with their teeth and cry, Peace. And he that putteth not into their mouths, they even prepare war against him. Therefore night shall be unto you, that ye shall not have a vision, and it shall be dark unto you, that ye shall not divine, and the sun shall not go down on the prophets, and the day shall not be dark over them. Then shall the seers be ashamed, and the diviners confounded. Yeah, they shall all cover their lips, for there is no answer of God. But truly I am full of power by the Spirit of the Lord, and of the judgment, and of might, to declare unto Jacob his transgression, and to Israel his sin. Hear this, I pray you, ye heads of the house of Jacob, and the princes of the house of Israel, that I abhor judgment, and pervert all equity. They build up Zion with their blood, with Jerusalem with iniquity. The heads thereof judge for reward, and the priests thereof teach for hire, and the prophets thereof divine for money. Yet will they lean upon the Lord and say, Is not the Lord among us? None evil can come upon us. Therefore shall Zion for your sake be plowed as a field, and Jerusalem shall become heaps, and the mountain of houses as the high place of the forest. Oh, okay. I know I just read 2 chapters there, but I think it's kind of important to put that all together into one. Remember, the chapter and verses was added, but it wasn't there in the beginning. So sometimes it is important to go on, and even more so. But I do want to kind of stop and back up a little bit to talk about what we've read so far. So I'll get to this top part in a second, but just to come down here and where it says, so
11. Oh,
yeah, no, yes, 11 exactly. So so he's talking to Jerusalem, he's talking to Judah, he's talking and saying some pretty rough things, and we see why, and we'll go back to the what, but the why is because their judges are judging for reward, their priests are doing it for the money, their prophets the prophets also are doing it for money. So we see here over and over that these people who are supposed to be in these respectable, honorable,
right.
integrable positions are using these positions for their own reward. And if we kind of look at the root of all, the love of money is the root of all evil, and we kind of see it here because and the root is the start of it, right? Like that's where it gets its nutrients from, that's where it grows from. So the root of all that evil is the love of money, and we have these judges doing it for the reward, and the priests doing it for a wage, and the prophets doing it for money. And they will, and yet while they're doing this with this in the heart, they look upon the Lord basically and say, wait, are you not among us? And so,
Yeah.
and so with that, he's like, no, what do you mean I'm not with you? You're going to be, your cities are going to be plowed like a field, and Jerusalem's going to become a heap. And what else were they doing? We see this behavior up here in 3, but let's go up to 2 real quick. And it says, who we're talking to. Let's just go up to 1. So and I said, hear I pray you, O heads of Jacob. That's the people in position of authority, and ye princes of the house of Israel. Again, people in a position of authority. Is it not for you to know judgment? Saying, what did you think? You're not going to get judgment? And why? Well, because you are people who hate the good and who love the evil, who pluck off the skin off of them and their flesh off their bones, who also eat the flesh of my people and flay the skin off of them and break their bones and chop them into pieces as for a pot, as flesh are with a cauldron. So we see cannibalism here, and them specifically talking about that behavior. And I think it's really interesting when you see 5 where it says, thus saith the Lord concerning the prophets that made my people error, that bite with their teeth and cry peace. Oh, how dare you! And he that putteth that into their mouths, they have even prepared war against him. Their whole mindset is such a double. They're double faced. They have, and we see this, and we'll see this with the Pharisees and the Sadducees, where they say the things of the Father, but their behavior is completely different. And it's funny how the Father is saying, hey, watch this. In 6, therefore night shall be unto you, that ye shall not have a vision. So he's straight up telling them, hey, you're not going to see this coming like you think you are, so much that the seers are going to be ashamed, the diviners are going to be confounded, yea, they shall all cover their lips, for there is no answer of God. Meaning they're not going to get any information. They're not going to be getting these tips and tricks that they've been getting, so much that it's going to confound them. And I just think it's super intense. What was that, Marcia?
No, I just think that's so awesome. They really are so arrogant, and 11 just shows how arrogant they are.
Yep.
Oh, no evil will come upon us. It's like, really?
Yeah.
Oh my
And it's
gosh.
funny because if you go again to one where it's like, is it not for you to know judgment to the house of Israel, to the heads of Jacob? Like, what did you think was going to happen? Any other thoughts?
Well, and if you look into the kings of that time, they had, like, it would skip a generation. So you start with Jotham, and he was all for the Father, and he set up, you know, the things in the temple of the Lord. And then you have his son Ahaz, and he destroyed it. He was destroying things and setting up altars to false gods.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have
Oh my.
Hezekiah, and he followed the Lord.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, it's really, and we've been seeing this over and over, the waxing and waning, and we can even see that
Yes.
microcosm in our hearts, right? Where if we're not diligently keeping in the Word every day and keeping the Father in our heart, how quickly we can be pulled out of that.
Oh, isn't that true? Yeah. Oh, so true.
Sweet. Okay. Well, that was 2 and 3. Let's go ahead and go on to 4, and there's really not that much left. So, Micah 4. But in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of the Lord shall be established in the top of the mountains, and it shall be exalted above the hills, and the people shall flow unto it. And many nations shall come and say, Come, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, and to the house of the God of Jacob. And he will teach us his ways, and we will walk in his path. For the law shall go forth of Zion, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. Now, I know this isn't directly on the topic, but for those that out there that are preterists, that's one of the main strong blockades for me when it comes to that all of this events have already happened, is because we're not seeing this. If we look at the current state of the modern Israel, we do not have laws that of the Father's law coming forth, and the nations aren't saying, hey, let's go there and learn the ways of Jacob. But anyways, I'll continue. And he shall judge among many people, and rebuke strong nations afar off. And they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nations shall not lift up a sword against nation, neither shall they learn war any more. But they shall sit every man under his vine and under his fig tree, and none shall make them afraid, for the mouth of the Lord of hosts has spoken it. For all people will walk every one in the name of his God, and he will walk in the name of the Lord of God forever and ever. And in that day, saith the Lord, will I assemble her that halteth, and I will gather her that is driven out, and her that I have afflicted. And I will make her that halted a remnant, and her that was cast far off a strong nation. And the Lord shall reign over them in Mount Zion from henceforth, even forever. And thou, O tower of the flock, the stronghold of the daughter of Zion, unto thee shall it come, even the first dominion, the kingdom shall come to the daughter of Jerusalem. Now, why dost thou cry out loud? Is there no king in thee? Is thy counsel perished? For pangs have taken thee as a woman in travail. Be in pain, and labor to bring forth, O daughter of Zion, like a woman in travail. For now shalt thou go forth out of the city, and thou shalt dwell in the field, and thou shalt go even to Babylon. Thou shalt be delivered there, then the Lord shall redeem thee from the land of thy enemies. 1 second. Little cough there. But they, of thy enemies. Now also many nations are gathered against thee. They say, let her be defiled, and let our eyes look upon Zion. But they know not the thoughts of the Lord, neither understand they his counsel. For they shall gather them as the sheaves into the floor. And arise and thresh, O daughter of Zion, for I will make thine horn iron, and I will make thy hoofs brass, and thou shalt beat into pieces many people. And I will consecrate their gain unto the Lord, and for their substance of the Lord of the whole earth. So, okay, what I think is really cool here is we have a lot of, in my beliefs, in my opinion, is a lot of prophetic language layered upon the peoples at the time. Now, we've seen, a lot of these statements in a lot of this language before in other prophets, and I think that's, this here in 4:3, and it says, and he shall judge among many people and rebuke strong nations afar off, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up their sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. And we've seen the same type of language talking about this time before, and we know that even here during Micah's time, and we got Jerusalem and south in the south kingdom of Judah, and still to this day we see a lot of sin and negativity and war happening all within that region. So obviously these things haven't happened before, but he's speaking to them in my belief is a twofold way. He's talking to the people at the time, but he's also talking to us. He's talking to the future generations that will deal with this. And again, because we've seen it not only in our own lives in that microcosm of our walk with the Father, but we can see it obviously in Scripture over and over with the prophets and in the nations or nations they're judging. And so in that same way, we know that we're still going through that same thing. We see that there's a lot of evil in this world, and that we need someone to make it right, and the Lord promised that. And we have here that when that happens, and it says, I will make her that halted a remnant, and her that was cast far off a strong nation. And the Lord shall reign over them in Mount Zion for henceforth, even for forever. And that's another point where a lot of people say, well, no, the New Jerusalem doesn't come down till after the 1,000 years reign. But here we see that we have this event happen, and after that event happen, it's forever. And we see that language over and over and over. And then the last thing that I kind of want to point out here is in 10. This again 4:10. It says, be in pain and labor to bring forth, O daughter of Zion, like a woman in travail. For now shalt thou go forth out of the city, and thou shalt dwell in the field, and thou shalt go even to Babylon. Thou be delivered, where the Lord shall redeem thee from the hand of thy enemies. And so even after the day of the Lord, we still have these nations that are, what this paints a picture in my mind is we still have these nations that are not happy about their current situation. They're not happy that all these other nations are free and are learning and growing, and we have this kind of group of, to me sounds like resentful people. And I see that in 9 where it says, now dost thou now why does that cry out aloud? Why are you crying now? Is there no king in thee? Like, where's your king? Isn't he going to save you? Is your counsel gone? Have they perished? Are they not going to be able to help you? For the pangs have taken thee as a woman in travail. That pain that they're going through is a process to bring something, a new creation. And that new creation, in my beliefs, is the New Jerusalem, which is going to be like a woman. It's not going to be it's the day of the Lord. It's not this bright sky, beautiful colors, right? Like the sun have been darkened, the moon has been darkened, the stars have been darkened. It is going to be a dreadful time for those that walk contrary to the Father. And I did say last thing, but this little part to me is so beautiful, and definitely not something that we go in today. But where it says, in 4:4, but they shall sit every man under his vine and under his fig tree, and none shall make them afraid, for the mouth of the Lord of hosts has spoken it. So I just imagine this, like this beautiful landscape, this revitalized, refurbished, earth, and men are going to be able to sit under his vine tree, right? So his vines and his fig tree, and he's going to be able to eat of them and have no fear because the Lord has spoken it. And anyways, I just think that that's so beautiful. I know I
It
kind of
is.
went on a rant there. Anyone have anything else to add?
No, well, no, I just think what you just said there is beautiful. That is there be no more fear. No, the shade under your tree, not to fear a thing. How wonderful would that be, huh?
Yeah, yeah, amen to
Oh,
that. All right, we got 3 more chapters to go, so let's go ahead and I'm going to start reading some more, and we can get through this, and then we can get to the discussion. But before we do, I'm going to jump back over, and I just want to say hi to some new added faces into chat. Oh, it looks like we lost Country Kid at some point. Let me go check her, make sure she's here. Okay, there she is. Show on stream. There we go. All right, so let's pull this over for chat and say hi to some people. Sweet. So, Country Dad showed up. Welcome, brother. Hope you're doing well. We got Tyler Porter, legend in himself. Thanks for being here, and glad to see y'all chatting up in chat. But let's keep going before we run out of time. So I'm gonna pull this back up, and again, this is Micah 5. So, now gather thyself in troops, O daughters of troops. He hath laid siege against us. They shall smite the judge of the Israel with a rod upon thy cheek. But thou, Bethlehem Ephratah, though thou be little among the thousands of Judah, yet out of thee shall he come forth unto me, that is to be the ruler in Israel, whose going forth have been from old, from everlasting. So this everlasting word, I would suggest looking it up. It does not mean forever as it kind of seems in English, but I definitely agree that he is who we're talking about here is Yeshua, right? We got this Bethlehem, and he. And of course, we'll get more to that when we get to the Gospels. But just this little nugget of we see Messiah right here, right? A promise that from humble beginnings, though thou be little among thousands of Judahs, yet shall come, thee shall come he forth out, who will be a ruler unto Israel, whose goings forth has been from old, from everlasting. So let's continue. Therefore, he will give them up until the time that she which travaileth have brought forth. Then the remnant of his brethren shall return unto the children of Israel, and he shall stand and feed in the strength of the Lord, in the majesty of the name of the Lord his God, and they shall abide, for now shall be great unto the ends of the earth. And this man shall be the peace, when the Assyrians shall come into our land, and he shall tread in our palaces. Then shall he raise against him 7 shepherds and 8 principal men, and they shall lay the waste of the land of Assyria, and with the sword, and the land of Nimrod in the entrance thereof. Thus shall he deliver us from the Assyrian, when he cometh into our land, and when he treadeth within our borders. We're going to get back to this, to 6. And the remnant of Jacob shall be in the midst of the people, of many people, as the dew from the Lord, as the showers upon the grass, that tarrieth not from man, nor waiteth for the sons of man. And the remnant of Jacob shall be among the Gentiles, in the midst of many people, as a lion among the beasts of the forest, as a young lion among the flocks of sheep, who, if he go through, both treadeth down and teareth in pieces, and none can deliver. Thine hand shall be lifted up upon thy adversaries, and thy enemies shall be cut off. And it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord, that I will cut off thy horses out of the midst of thee, and I will destroy thy chariots. And I will cut off the cities of thy land, and throw down all the strongholds. And I will cut off witchcrafts out of thy hand, and thou shalt not have no more soothsayers. Thy graven images also will I cut off, and thy standing images out of the midst of thee. And thou shalt no more worship the work of thine hands. And I will pluck up thy gloves out of the midst of thee, so I will destroy thy cities. And I will execute vengeance in anger and fury upon the heathen, such as they have never heard. So some pretty strong words there at the end there, but I want to skip up here to the beginning. And I love some language in here. But before we get to that part, we have this 6th. It says, and they shall lay waste the land of Assyria with the sword, the land of Nimrod, and the entrances thereof. Thus shall he deliver us from the Assyrian, when he cometh into our land, and when he treadeth within our borders. So I have a question for y'all. Now, obviously, Nimrod is long gone from this point. Why do y'all think he is? Why do you think there's this prophetic language here when it's talking about this Assyrian?
Assyrian.
One
Yep.
that we're going to be delivered from when he cometh into our land and treadeth within our borders. What are y'all's thoughts about that?
Well, I think it's Nimrod who's going to be like the beast that comes up. He's the Assyrian. He's the, I don't know. He's
No,
the one
yeah,
who was.
totally right.
Yeah.
Like when Micah is using this language, like they know who Nimrod is. They know how
Right.
they were besieged and conquered by him, and how the whole world laid accusation to his might and power. And so not only do I think this is like a prophetic thing where we're talking about something that's happening in the future, and that's with the the beast that is given power by the dragon, but it's also a let's say like a metaphor of like, what kind of power, what kind of judgment is coming upon you, is pretty harsh. But then again, and I want to get into this because we have this like strong like, hey, they know what they're talking about. But he switches right over that from in 6 to in 7, and says, and the remnant of Jacob shall be in the midst of many people as the dew from the Lord, as the showers upon the grass, that tarrieth not for man, nor waiteth for the sons of man. So what I think is so beautiful about this is literally picture when it rains. When it rains, it's not all in this concentrated stream, right, where it just fills up one place and hits one patch of grass. It spread throughout all the area, right? You got drops hitting all the different pieces all over. And what I think is beautiful about go ahead.
No, as the dew of the Lord. Just thinking about the dew on the grass when you wake up in the mornings or whatever. It is everywhere. The dew.
Uh-huh.
So
It's
you're talking about the
literally
rains. Yeah.
It's literally on the every people. And so he's talking about his people had been spread out through the nations like this dew. And so that gives like this really beautiful, like, and I love the words he's using. He's using the word dew, which is this like life-bringing substance, right?
It is.
It's water, and it cools the plants, and it helps them for when the sun comes up. They have a little bit of a coolness there to keep them wet instead of shrivel up.
Right.
But the image of that, a lot in our world, there's this view that Israel is a state and a place, and there is a modern day people there, and these are the people that he's talking about, and even if we go to World War II and, them spreading out after it, is to me a microcosm of a much bigger thing. And I believe that, all of us are part of Israel, and we get to choose that inheritance. And now I know a lot there is, being grafted in when you're not in the family. But just really quick, a little bit off topic is, like, do we know? Like, do we trust the science of who is blood a Jew and who isn't? Do we know can we take that all the way from Adam to now? No, we can't. And so there might be many peoples that are that in the blood scheme of it from the Father who would be considered as Jews. And so or Israelites, if you will. So anyways, I just thought that was really beautiful. But and then it follows up, right? So it gives this very beautiful thing, but it follows it up with, and the remnant of Jacob shall be among the Gentile in the midst of many peoples, as a lion among the beasts of the forest, as a young lion among the flocks of sheep, who, if he go through, both treadeth down and teareth into pieces, and none can deliver. So guys, to me, this is so amazing. Like, he is okay, and the remnant of Jacob shall be among the Gentiles in the midst of many peoples. Okay, so that's us, as a lion among the beasts of the forest. So he's saying, like, guys, y'all are a lion among all the other beasts of the forest. A lion, right? As a young lion among the flocks of sheep. So we are like a lion who is in the midst, who is around all these sheep, that if we were to go through, if we were to commit, we would treadeth down and teareth into pieces this whole thing. And when I mean whole thing, I'm not talking about the good, and the beautiful. I'm talking about
be destroyed. And then in 14, and I will pluck up thy groves out of the midst of thee, so I will destroy thy cities. And then 15, I will execute vengeance and anger and fury upon the heathen, such as they have not heard. And so we always get this language, right? We always get this language of, you're doing these evil things, I'm going to destroy you. And we get these pictures painted of different ways that this is going to happen. But to me, we've seen the same pattern. But we got 2 more chapters to go, so bear with me. We're going to go ahead and go through those real quick, and then we're going to get into the discussion of it and look at chat as well. So this is Micah 6. Hear ye now what the Lord saith. Arise, contend thou before thy mountains, and let the hills hear thy voices. Hear ye, O mountains, the Lord's controversy, and ye strong fountains of the earth, for the Lord hath a controversy with his people, and he will plead with Israel. O my people, what have I done unto thee? And wherein have I wearied thee? Testify against me. For I brought thee up out of the land of Egypt, and redeemed thee out of the house of servants. And I sent before thee Moses, Aram, and Miriam. O my people, remember now what Balak king of Moab consulted, and what Balaam the son of Beor answered him from Shittim unto Gilgal, that ye may know the righteousness of the Lord. Wherewith shall I come before the Lord, and bow myself before the high God? Shall I come before him with burnt offerings, with the calves of a year old? 1 second. Will the Lord be pleased with thousands of rams, or with 10,000s of rivers of oil? Shall I give my firstborn for my transgression, the fruit of my body for the sin of my soul? He has shown thee, O man, what is good. And what doth the Lord require of thee? But to do justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with thy God. The Lord...
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm looking at the chat, and they're saying, Bader, you sound highly pitched. You're cracking up. You're laggy.
Oh, really?
but you're not to me.
Oh, weird. Sounds like a chipmunk reading. That sounds super funky.
You
Okay.
did for a moment. You did for a moment for me, but it went away. But there, I don't know if it's the lag. Oh, it sounds like you've been reading through a helium balloon.
Someone else take over for you while you fix the mic. All right, let me mess with some settings. Okay, let me know if anything has changed.
We hear them good, guys, so you're going to have to tell us through the chat.
Marsha is chipmunk too.
Oh, my.
Everybody is including you, Marsha. Okay, 1 second, guys. I'm going to pull some other things up to see if I can figure out what's going on, if it's on the YouTube side. You shall all submit to my authority. I hope it's still chipmunky. Not good. Okay,
Blue? Huh.
okay. Let's see, mic check, see if that's funny.
Does this sound better? No.
Let me check. I went out, refresh, come back. This is not what my husband sounds like. That was good. Okay. Well, maybe I'll have to go steal that recording and submit to my authority. The hum is from your mic. Okay.
Well, why me then? Say something, Maggie. See if you are a robot.
I don't think I am.
All right. Did that fix it for everyone? I just unplugged my mic and replugged it in.
How's that? Anything better? Everybody?
I just
They're
see
laughing.
people laughing. We gotta wait for the.
I know.
We gotta
wait for the lag.
Yeah. So it's still not fixed. Now I can't stop laughing. My stomach hurts. He's gonna do tonight. Take over the world, of course. Same thing as I do every time, Pinky. Try to take over the world. We gotta at least make some fun out of this if we're not gonna be able to have a actual.
Oh no.
Okay, I'm gonna have to. I might go out for a second, but just bear with
Yeah,
me.
I can hear you, EXO, but they can't.
He's not in here. Okay, he must have dropped out. 1 second.
Oh.
Let me fix that. Maybe that has something to do with it.
Yeah.
All right, can you hear me, EXO?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, everyone should hear you now. I don't know if you're now sounding like the.
I was gonna say that I heard you on the. I took the live stream and it sounded decent. I don't know if it fixed yet.
Nobody looks like that. We keep getting goofy faces, so.
Okay, let's go to Mike. That's so weird though. That it just like happened all of a sudden, and I didn't change anything. I didn't. It's
I know.
now it's okay. More like a walkie-talkie. Sounds normal, but no one else does. Okay, Marsha, try to disconnect and come back in.
Okay. All right.
Okay, we're gonna try this with Marsha. Let me pull up. Let me get rid of screen share. Pull this up, and then let's see if we can get Marsha back in here. And she comes. Oh gosh, what a funny thing to happen. There's that. Okay, let's try to bring her back in.
Yeah, I checked it. It did sound messed up again. Yeah, I could hear what they're talking about.
I literally didn't do anything, so it must be YouTube or Streamlabs. I have no idea. It's very weird. Okay. Alright, here's Marsha. Alright, Marsha, let's hear you talk a little bit so we can see if it
Okay,
fits
I'll talk a little bit and see if I still like I'm a helium balloon or a robot or something.
Yeah, I sound like I'm 8 years old, which is 3 years younger than usual. So yeah.
Vader, you're still a chipmunk.
That humming is super loud. Where is it coming from?
I'm gonna blame Streamlabs. I'm gonna put all in on that, Vader. Streamlabs has been nothing but a nightmare for me, so I'm just gonna blame them. Yep.
Yeah, well, this, to be fair, this is pretty new. Them even adding the video on, it's only been happening for like 3 months. So I used to have to literally have another, like a Google Chrome browser up to then steal on one of my monitors to steal it. It was a nightmare because one person would drop off, it would mess up everything. All right, is anyone else, is it sounding better now? Because I'm hearing a little less.
It's a pitch. Yeah, we can hear a different pitch. Like we sound sped up, but the timing is about the same.
Oh, weird. So it's not actually like compressing it. It's just the audio compress. That's so weird.
Yeah, it's like maybe it is. Maybe it's ever so slightly. I don't know, but I can tell. Yeah, it doesn't sound right. It's messed up.
Okay, let's see here. Alright, guys, I'm so sorry. I don't know why. It's almost more fun seeing Vader talk with a chipmunk voice. Does the voice match the face and the beard? Okay, guys. I'm not sure what happened. I don't. Nothing changed on my side. I unplugged the mic and replugged it in.
I've gone out and come back, so.
Let me see if I wonder if. Here, let's try one more thing. Properties.
They're having more fun in chat right now than.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to switch. Okay, now that is coming from a different mic. Do y'all have?
You sound different. You sound, lower, but you sound good. You're not chipmunky.
Okay, let's see chat if pre-puberty Vader just listening over the radio. Oh god. There's a lot of good jokes over here, guys.
Who's in my way?
Okay, so people are saying it's better. Reed said it's better. Welcome, Reed. Still scratchy. But is the static is gone, but you're still chip. Hey, the humming finally stopped. Oh my god, so weird. Okay, let's try this now. Let's do this. Okay, maybe it's like the physical cord that's the issue. Some people are still getting static. Okay, let's try this. I'm gonna switch back over, guys. Alright. Monitor off. I hear static. It's still there, just better. Still chipmunk. Man, what the heck? Wait, yeah, the humming is gone. Chipped. Nice one, Wind Feather. Welcome, sister. The static is sporadic. Oh, the static is. That makes me think it's something physical with my That makes it like a pinched cord or something like that, but I haven't moved anything. Get another update just when he talks now instead of consistent. So you're just getting static when I talk?
And it sounds like it comes and goes, Vader. But still less chipmunk. So it's a little better.
Okay, let's look at the and over on my stream settings, like the stream, the health is like excellent condition. It says the stream is in excellent health. So sounds like it's getting better and better.
Yeah, less chipmunk, more alien.
More cowbell. Good one, Wendy. Okay, well, this has kind of thrown a robot voice and a chipmunk voice into one. You can call me Robo Chipmunk. It is a little better. What's better, the static? Luke, I am your father. Hopefully that was in a chipmunk voice. Okay, everyone takes turn going in and out. Weird. Okay, guys. Well, hopefully it's good enough. Oh wait, y'all are gone now. Okay, y'all have no voice now. Let me change this over. Will you say something? What the heck just happened? Sorry guys, my whole, what is going on? Marsha should be on. Okay, can you hear me, Marsha?
Yeah, I hear you fine. I've always heard you fine.
Oh, weird. I literally just lost y'all, and then all of a sudden your picture went way across the screen.
Yep.
That's weird. You are all beautiful. Hopefully that means the sound is beautiful, but I'll go ahead and just go through the rest of this. We have one more to read. I didn't finish this one. Let me pull that up.
1.5 more.
Yeah, 1.5. Okay, let's pull this back up. Wherefore shall I come before the Lord and bow myself before the high God? Shall I come before thee with burnt offerings and with calves of a year old? Will the Lord be pleased with thousands of rams, with tens of thousands of rivers of oil? Shall I give my firstborn for my transgression, the fruit of my body for the sin of my soul? He hath shown thee, O man, what is good. And what doth the Lord require of thee? But wait, for the rich men thereof are full of violence, and the inhabitants thereof have spoken lies, and their tongues is a deceitful in their mouth. Therefore also will I make thee sick in smiting thee, and making thy desolate because of thy sins. Thou shalt eat, but not be satisfied, and thou shalt cast down, and thy casting down shall be in the midst of thee, and thou shalt take hold, but shall not be delivered. And that just buffering, sound is laggy, but better. Buffering galore and stuff. And it literally shows on my
Vader,
side that it's...
You actually sounded robotic to me a couple times, and it's buffering on my end. Yeah.
Oh, so weird. Yeah, I'm showing it's showing excellent over on
TOTW?
yeah, over on Take on the World, but it's not. Let me bring up stream health. Oh, it's a YouTube thing.
Ah.
Because everything on my side is good. It's YouTube that's dropping out now. Says the current video is interlaced, but interlaced video is not supported. What does that even mean? I haven't done anything differently than I've ever done. Hopefully y'all got it, got what I was reading, regardless, like it buffered back and y'all heard what I had to say, or what I read. But just quickly, and I want to move on, is we're going to make this a shorter stream just because we're having all these technical difficulties. But anyways, this part right here, so, okay, so we know that the smell of the meat, of the cooking of the sacrifice, the meal, when the heart is right, is a beautiful smell
The
to the
stream
Father.
ended. The stream shut off.
Everything is one big blur on YouTube.
Mine's done.
Oh, mine. Okay, it came back on now.
Yeah, YouTube just shut us off.
He's back up.
Sorry,
I
guys.
see it
I
now.
don't know what's going on with YouTube. This is not. I'm still here.
Yeah, we got hit with an EMP. From China's weather balloon.
You mean China satellite?
Yeah, China's weather balloon, they says a weather balloon. Yeah, I'm
Satellite.
going to have an EM satellite. You're not here, Vader.
Weird.
Oh, man.
Okay, it's showing me good on that
Grief.
side. Warning, the stream's current.
Everybody's saying the stream ended. It ended
Yeah.
on my end too.
Which one?
Oh, I'm on Circle of the Earth.
Yeah.
I'm going to go, oh, TOTW. Now.
Sorry,
Let's
everyone.
see.
We're getting technical difficulties from. Which one?
Oh, I'm on Circle of the Earth.
Yeah, no, we're still live. Like, if I just brought it up, we're still live.
They're still saying on TOTW there's a bad connection.
I'm so sorry, guys. Something's going on with YouTube. I'm sorry if I sound like a demon or a chipmunk or a robot chipmunk demon. That is not.
Or an alien.
Yeah, I see that I'm on YouTube. It's just it's 100% not from my side. It is. I can see with all these messages that
Yep.
YouTube is having like errors and saying
Yep.
they're not receiving data from me, which they obviously are. So it's on their side. Okay, if you're on YouTube and it's not working, refresh, and it should work. That's if you can
Oh.
hear me.
Oh, I'm going to try that.
Yeah, sorry about the funny sounding stuff. That is, it is the way that YouTube is receiving my information. So it is definitely on the YouTube side, not me, because everything on my side is showing correct. Yeah, so anyways, let's continue on. Sorry that it sounds funny. I'll look more into this going on, but I do want to get at least through this. We got one more chapter to read. But what I was saying is how the Father loves the smell of the cooked sacrifice when it's from people with their hearts resolved, with their hearts set on the Father. And we've seen how it smells horribly when it's from men whose heart is not on the Father. And I just love the way that it's putting out here when it says, gotta find it. When it says, wherewith shall I come before the Lord and bow myself before the high God? Shall I come before him with burnt offerings with the calves of a year old, right? Which we know that's Passover, having a lamb or a goat at that year old age. And then it says 7, will the Lord be pleased with the thousands of rams and with tens of thousands of rivers of oils? Shall I give my firstborn for my transgression? Oh, that sounds a little weird.
Yes, it does.
And the fruit of my body for the sin of my soul. And then 8, here it is. He has shown thee, oh man, what is good. He's saying straight up, I've already shown you what is good. And what doth the Lord require of thee? I've already shown you what is good and what I require of you. And what is that? I want you to do justly and to love mercy and to walk humbly with thy God. Hasn't he already been telling the people over and over and over? And so the point here is he's like, I brought you out of the, I've done all these things for you. You act like you don't know who I am. And we see what type of behaviors they're doing that is different. 10. And there yet the treasures of wickedness in the house of the wicked, and the scant measure that is abominable.
But it's 0.8 of a gram. And so we see him mixing this language of their behavior with very real symbolic, metaphorical imagery of the type of people they're doing. And we see for 12, what are the 12 men in 12? What are these men? The rich men thereof are full of violence, and the inhabitants thereof has spoken lies, and their tongue is deceitful in their mouths. What are they doing? They're betraying, they're going against the word of the Father that they have learned over and over, all the way from Adam, all the way up to through Abraham to Moses, and so on and so forth, through all the prophets we've seen this same type of behavior. And so last chapter 7, hopefully everyone is going good. Cyber attack, now it's buffering. Still buffering me. Everything is normal now, Vader. So we're getting a little bit mixed. So I'm just going to go through this and we'll close up shop, because whatever's happening, I have no control over. And I want to at least kind of get this done with. So 7, woe is me, for I am as when they have gathered the summer fruits, as the grape gleanings of the vintage. There is no cluster to eat. My soul desired the first ripe fruit. The good man is perished out of the earth, and there is none upright among men. They all lie in wait for blood. They hunt every man his brother with a net, that they may do evil with both hands earnestly. The prince asketh, and the judge asketh for a reward. And the great man, he uttereth his mischievous desire, so they wrap it up. The best of men is as a briar. The most upright is as sharper than a thorn hedge. The day of thy watchman and thy visitation cometh. Now shall be their perplexity. Trust ye not in a friend, but ye not confidence in a guide. Put the doors of thy mouth from her that lieth in thy bosom. For the son dishonors the father, the daughter rises up against her mother, the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law, and a man's enemy are the men of his own house. Therefore I will look unto the Lord, I will wait for the God of my salvation. My God will hear me. Rejoice not against me, O mine enemy. When I fall, I shall arise. When I sit in darkness, the Lord shall be a light unto me. I will bear the indignation of the Lord, because I have sinned against him. Until he plead my cause and execute judgment for me, he will bring forth to the light, and I shall behold his righteousness. Then she that is mine enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her with, saith unto me, where is the Lord thy God? Mine eyes shall behold her, now shall she be trodden down as the mire of the streets. And the day that thy walls are to be built, in the day shall the decree be far removed. In that day also he shall come even to thy from Assyria, and from the fortified cities, and from the fortresses even to the river, and from the sea to sea, and from mountain to mountain. Notwithstanding the land shall be desolate because of them that dwell therein, for the fruit of their doings.
Feed thy people with thy rod, the flock of thine heritage, which dwell solitary in the wood in the midst of Carmel. Let them feed in Bashan and in Gilead as in the days of old. According to the days of thy coming out of the land of Egypt will I show unto him marvelous things. The nations shall see and be confounded at all their might. They shall lay their hand upon their mouth, their ears shall be deaf. They shall lick the dust like a serpent. They shall move out of their holes like worms of the earth. They shall be afraid of the Lord our God, and shall fear because of thee. Who is a God like unto thee? So real quick, who is a God like thee? If you say who is like God, that is Micah's name. So that's where the who comes from for the episode. Anyways, who is like unto thee? Who is a God like unto thee that parteth iniquity and passeth by the transgressions of the remnant of his heritage? He retaineth not his anger forever, because he delighteth in mercy. He will turn again, he will have compassion upon us. He will subside our iniquities, and thou wilt cast all their sins into the depths of the sea. There wilt perform the truth to Jacob and the mercy to Abraham, which thou hast sworn unto the fathers from the days of old. So beautiful to me, guys. We're getting obviously a lot of like, hey guys, over and over, guys, we see that this behavior has a direct result in people's lives. When they are living this type of behavior, when they are doing contrary to what the Father requests of us, we see over and over how that physically affects them, how these things happen in their lives that uproot them or destroy them or make their home, their land, their area desolate. But like always, again and again, we get this promise that those that keep his commandments, his ways, right? Because in 18 it says, "Who is a God like unto thee that parteth iniquity?" What is iniquity? It's transgression against his instructions, and passeth by the transgression, again, when we do the opposite of his behavior, of the remnant of his people. He retaineth not his anger forever, because he delighteth in mercy. He doesn't want, and we've already read that before, he doesn't like doing the discipline part. That's not what he wants. And, I actually say this to my son, Jet, all the time. And I've said it to my daughter, and I've said it to my other sons. And, I got this trait from the Father and seeing his behavior, and it's true in my heart as well, is that I tell my son Jet, who is the most rambunctious of our four children, and he is quite often disobedient, and he has good, his sister and his older sister and his older brother are pretty obedient, and so he definitely has the example to look at, but he's constantly getting disciplined, and I tell him, son, I would rather give you praise and loves and gifts and rewards over having to give you discipline. So will you please, for me, and I think about this, everyone, when we sin, it hurts the Father.
Yeah.
Right? The Father has to give us punishment, right? And he doesn't
there is consequences.
No, for sure.
Yes,
but he doesn't want to give us those consequences. He would rather us be obedient and him never have to give us consequences. Right?
Absolutely.
And we see that because it says he retaineth not his anger forever, meaning he doesn't hold on to the anger. He delights in mercy. He's waiting for someone to come to him and ask him to pardon his iniquity, to pass over their transgressions, and the way to do that is repentance. Now, what is repentance? That means going off the path that you've been going on, turning around and going back onto the Father's path. Now, a lot of the times that takes humility, and we see that back up there where it's talking about what the Father is asking for us, where he says, let me find it again. Sorry, I lost it. It might have been in 6. I think it was in 6. Maybe I'm wrong though. But he basically said, like, I'm asking you to walk humbly. And that's part of it, is to see that you're iniquity, that you're in transgression because of your behavior, and to turn to the Father and to ask for that pardoning of that, for him to pass over those transgressions. And that doesn't just go for us individually. That goes for our city. That goes for our state. That goes for our country. That goes for our realm. And I feel like we all have to take, with the current state of the world, we have to really take this in there. Now, we could easily look at ourselves and our own sin. And again, I'm casting no stone. We all have our iniquity. We all have our where we have fallen short. But if you think about kind of that imagery of the balance, and how if our sins were just a little grain of rice, or a little grain of sand, and each time we sinned, we put it into this balance, to this measuring device. Now, if we all think about each time we've sinned in just one piece of grain, a grain of sand that we put into this balance, what does our balance look like? Is it overflowing where we can't even have those pieces of sand, where the Father is so weighted against us because we're so in iniquity that we just keep adding to it, where we don't go to the Father for that for that parting, we don't go to the Son for the intercession. And so over and over, and we're gonna, we got 6 more not minor prophets to go, but I just want to show that over and over we have this repeating pattern. Guys, let's look at this repeating pattern and really take that in internally and say, where is my repeating patterns? Where can I, with the Father, destroy these strongholds? Right? We saw him coming and him destroying these strongholds. Do we not all have strongholds in our heart? A sin that we overlook, or sin that we justify, and I think even though these are quote unquote minor prophets, I think there's so much gravy, there's so much beauty in all of these.
Oh, there is. In fact, I thought I heard something. I'm probably going to say it wrong. That all the prophets, was that what it was? That all the prophets were in one book. It wasn't all separated, like minor and major and
Oh yeah,
that's not minor. What he just said in Micah there isn't minor.
no. And like, where did they even, like, because the book is short, that makes it minor? Like, I really would like to understand where they get the minor, because all of these stories over and over are so important, and it's a repeating pattern, and we're, again, we got 6 more to go, but as we get closer and we see this pattern over and over and over, to me, it makes so much more sense that Yeshua came when he came, and the time that he came, with all of these prophets and, patriarchs before him, and we've had this up and down, up and down, up and down. I think it's so important.
Yes.
Sweet. Okay.
Absolutely.
So I know we're still like 30 minutes out, but I'm gonna go ahead and chop this up, guys. I'm sorry. I'm still getting issues over on YouTube, so I don't want to. And what's really weird? Over on, I don't know if other people on Take on the World are seeing this, but everyone's names are in red and orange to me. Red,
really?
Orange, and gold. And like a dark yellow.
I think it's YouTube, because somebody was mentioning that in Sean's stream. in Sean's thing that they were seeing different colors of their names.
Yeah, it has to be something with
It's YouTube.
They got some bugs going on or something. Yeah, I know, guys. I appreciate y'all for sticking around, even though it sounds minor prophets, only smaller books, not less important. Completely, Joy. That's 100% true. But I feel like a lot of people, a lot of modern Christians, they've never even read these books. They've never even thought to read them. Like, why would I read that old stuff? We have Yeshua. We don't need that stuff anymore. You know, there's a lot of Beetlejuice. That's funny. But anyways, yeah, guys, let's go ahead and wrap this up since we're having so many technical difficulties. But like always, I have a few things to show. Before we get out of here. So like always, we read the comments from the last stream on the next one. Now we didn't have one last week. I wasn't feeling the hottest, but oh, weird. 38. Oh, why did it has the same? I need to go change that. It has the same thumbnail as 37, but it's actually 38. So boo boo there. I'll go fix that after the stream. But let's bring this up. So last stream was Dove. We talked about Jonah, and that was a really good, really good one. And those that don't know, Jonah didn't come out of the whale alive. He was dead. He was resurrected. That was the point, and we see that also reflected in the Gospels, where they talk about the sign of Jonah. Anyways, let's go ahead and pull this up for y'all so we can go through it. Okay, so for those that don't know, shout out to Take on the World, Chris and Liz. They have a community, a family that they put together where they have a whole bunch of great creators that come on and produce content for their channel. So they got stuff typically going on all week. It varies. Sometimes people come, some go, but they do also. They also do a conference now. Before in the past, it was a physical conference. This past year, 2022, was a virtual conference. There's a lot of good content in here, so definitely check it out. But anyways, our episode now, it says servant, but it's actually Dove. I need to change this. This is what I was rambling about when I was talking. But this is on the Take of the World for episode 38, Dove. And while that's loading, we got two. I'm going to give y'all both love. Thank you. I really appreciate you guys. Enjoy the Holy Spirit in you. Oh, whoa. Lots more. Welcome. Thank you, everyone. That's awesome. The scriptures definitely say Jonah died. Yes, I completely agree. Zetetic West. General C. Ezekiel Stroh said, "Where do I find your interview on here? This channel with Courtney Smith. Thanks." I don't know if I ever talked to Courtney Smith. I'm not exactly sure which one you're talking about, but thank you for that. I'm asking for prayers and healings and deliverance in Jesus' name. Forgive the caps. I need mercy. So everyone, please, set it in your heart to say a prayer for Joel Pitts. Looks like he's going through some hard times. So showing him some love and lifting his name up to the Father. I would ask that you would do so. Karen Jack says, I think in Naiva worship Dagon, the fish god, which causes them to take Jonah's sign from the sea creature seriously. Yeah, and we kind of talked about the great comment there, Karen Jacks. We also kind of talked about that when we talked about the Exodus and how all the 10 plagues were directly attacking each of their gods. We have the main god, of the Nile, and we see the blood. We see their main god of the sky, and we see the fire and brimstone come from the sky. We see the main god. Osiris is often depicted as as a scarab beetle, and so we have the scarab beetle head guy. So yes, I love when the Father uses their own iniquity to kind of point out their iniquity. And then Moonglow said, thank you, really appreciate you guys. And then Karen Jacks, that's a great closing song, really smooth and melodic. Yep, shout out to Born Out of Time, to Nick and Frankie B. We love you guys and your music. So thank you all for the comments. I think that was like one of the top ones we've had so far, so really appreciate that. Thumbs up really helps, it get out there more. And then over on the Circle on the Earth, check it, guys, out. We're 4 away from being 3/4 away for the 1,000. So please share, like, subscribe, hit the thumbs up button. That really helps it get out to other people so that we can get more pieces to the puzzle, more pieces of the puzzle to the table. And I am working on. I think I need to stop making claims, but I'm working on the next Pieces in Plain Sight. Just to kind of give you a teaser, it's going to be called Gods. So we're going to be looking at the gods of olden time and how that has been a persistent narration theme brand within our realm. So we'll be talking about that. But anyways, let's go over to our last episode, which again was Dove, and pull that up. People making love jokes over there. Talking about my
making
voice.
jokes on your channel. Yes.
Yes. I'm trying to get rid of this chipmunk voice. Next time you won't have it, guys, hopefully.
My daughter says, thanks for the sweet stream, Alvin, Theodore, and Simon.
No, I'm Chip and Dale, okay? We're the Rescue Rangers. Sweet, love to see all these on here. We got a few my beautiful wife, Mrs. That started playing. Sorry, y'all are gonna hear that. Pause it. My lovely wife said 100% claps. Thank you. Nicholas dropping by to show some support. Appreciate that, brother. Shabbat shalom. Missed the live. It's okay, TD. Thank you for the comment and for the showing up. Intro and outro always fire. Thank you. Love you there. The Flawless. Hey, everyone. This is Stefan. I really enjoyed being on here with you guys. I hope to come back on sometime in the future. Also, I didn't get a chance to say, you can also use Vader's comment section to share your testimony. Yeah, that'd be awesome. I'd love to see anything like that. And then again, if you're open to coming on, would love to give you. Oh, see, look, it's shown over here. See, orange comments, green, orange. So weird.
Wow.
Anyways, if someone wants to jump on video, or not maybe video, just voice, and give your testimony and join one of the episodes, like, that is something we do. The best way to do that would be through Discord. So if here's the link, you can also find it in the description below. We're trying to grow this, trying to get more active into it. But we love it's a good way to get in contact with me and with the fellowship. If you would like to come on or just have some things to share. We also have a merch shop. Again, the link's in the description. Got some cool merch here if you're interested. It's the way to support the channel if you'd like to. If not, no worries. I don't do this for money. I do this because the Father asked me to do it, and I want to be obedient to Him. And so that's why I'm doing that. But yeah, I've been sharing screen for most of this broadcast, so I'll go ahead and get us back here, and we will call it a night. Sweet, let me pull this last thing up. All right, so Marcia, if you'd like to say your goodbyes.
It's been fun. It's been funny. It was good for a while, but it's too bad that it got ruined. But it wasn't. It's not ruined. You know what?
Mm-hmm.
That's all there is to it. It's not ruined. So goodbye, y'all, and enjoyed the chat.
Yes. All right, Maggie, thank you for your gravy as always. If you'd like to say goodbye.
Oh, can't hear you.
She's muted.
You're muted.
Is it my side or her side?
I can't hear
there we
her.
go.
Thank you for having me on again. It was fun.
Yes, very enjoyable when technical difficulties happen that make you sound like a
When you
chipmunk.
talk, you're a helium. Got helium.
Yes, he wanted to laugh us to laugh tonight, Wendy. Sweet, and the EXO, we lost him. It's not his fault. It's Streamlabs. There's just some reason that we can just not get him on and his device work properly. So apologize that to the EXO. I'll look into getting that fixed for the future. I'm still trying to get the screen share fixed. So you remember how like y'all were low, the voice, and then I fixed that, and then like these other issues come. It's like I'm constantly dealing with new things for no reason.
Yeah.
It feels like.
Yeah.
But maybe that's just the evil one trying to keep me from continuing, and I'm not going to let him win. So we're going to press forward. Again, thank you all for your support, for the likes, the comments, subscriptions, the thumbs up. They really do help. Help us grow. We're getting to that 750. Once we get to that 750, we are going to announce the 1,000 subscriber giveaway. We did one for 500. Maria C won a brand new shofar, so we'll probably do something even cooler than that. And like we did last time, we'll probably do a poll and seeing what y'all would like to see the prize be. But without further ado, guys, we love you so much. We hope you all have a wonderful day of rest for those that observe Shabbat. And until next time, remember that ABBA loved you first. Good night, everyone.
Make